Why is it so hard finding a quality man these days? Husband material saved and ready. You know what it is? I would say K17, and this is just my perspective. I think that today, I don't think, number one, we're presenting ourselves in a way that men that are saved and ready will see you. Like, you got to, I believe in presentation. We say we want a saved and ready husband material man, but we're presenting ourselves as girlfriends. And I think that there's a difference. There is a difference in how you present yourself. God convicted me of that. God convicted me of that. And I really had to deal with me on that. Like, how are you presenting yourself? Are you presenting yourself as the woman I've intended for you to be? Or are you presenting yourself as just another woman they see on the gram? Like, which one are you? And that did require me to take a shift in content, to take a shift in what I, promoting what I would put out there. I took a major shift, and that was really because I felt like God was convicting me about that. Like, I'm calling you higher. I'm calling you to more, and you presenting yourself any kind of way is not, that's not what I'm calling you to do. So I had to deal with me on that, and I had to, let things go. And was that hard? Yes, because not everybody understood that. Not everybody supported that decision. Some people absolutely did. Some people didn't. But that was a really hard decision to make, because I'm making these decisions, and I'm like, part of me was validated by, certain, videos that I'm doing, and it's just me looking in a camera is going viral. Like that, there's a lot of validation that comes from that. It's not a lie. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie. You get 100 and 200, 300,000 likes on a post, or 500,000 or whatever, however many, whatever, just by looking into a camera. That's very validating. And I had to say to myself, like, where do I want my validation from? God or people? Do I want my validation from a man? Like, and God was just teaching me, like, no, you get your validation from me. I say you're good enough. I say you're worthy. I say, because people's opinions will go up and down. Those likes will go up and down. But my validation for you, what I feel about you, is what matters. That doesn't mean I stopped taking care of myself. That doesn't mean I've stopped, like, working out, and I still like I'm still going to get my hair done. I'm still going to keep myself up. My nails is gonna be done, all these things. But now it's, like, that's just who I'm doing for me. It's not about what you guys think. It's not about how many likes I get on a hair post, or on a fitness post, or whatever the case may be. Like, it's not about that. It's about what God is doing within me. And like, that's what matters the most. And I'm still a work in progress. I mean, it's still things, but I'm really much more mindful of, like, being more like being more mindful about how I present myself, because I don't want my message to be diluted because of how I present myself. I want my message to be reinforced by how I represent myself. And that was something that God had to speak to me about, and I had to deal with me about, because you are held to a higher standard. You just are. And, it's not the popular thing to say or to do, but I think that that's why a lot of women do struggle with meeting men that are intentional, because there's a lot of women that say they're Christian. There's a lot of women that say they're God-fearing, and they're this and they're that, but they out here living like the world. And it's like it's hard. You say you a Christian, but you say you really walking this thing out, because you could say you a Christian, but are you walking it? You could say you're a Christian, but are you faithful to what the values of the Christian faith? Walking it and talking it are two different things. I'm going to tell y'all that now. Walking it and talking it are two completely different things. And when you're walking and talking it, it's very few of us that are actually doing that. And so therefore and wherefore, you're going to have a lot of people in your journey and in your walk that may not understand you. And that's okay. I'm okay with being misunderstood. And when I first, let me just keep it real. When I first started this whole getting on the ground, I cared more about what people thought. It wasn't until situations happened that were beyond my control that was influencing the way people thought about me. And now I'm having to deal with narratives and worry about like things that I can't control. And it was God breaking me out of this thing. Like, people are going, they can like you one day, hate you the next. Like it like you over here tap dancing to people's approval and their likes and their validation and them understanding you. That's a fruitless battle, because there's going to be variables that you can't even control. And there's so many people that tap dance according to how people will respond to them versus really just being authentic to what they feel like God is calling them to do. They're afraid of being canceled. They're afraid of these things. And it's like, people, if you're standing for God and in God, there's no fear of being canceled. Because God is who justifies you. God is who validated you. God is who elevated you. They can't cancel what God created. It's a God thing. So it's like I think that God had to kind of like take me out of that wavelength and get me to see things a certain way. But because so many people say that there's something and they don't live it that way, there's so many people that do that. I can see how men can feel like, I don't know what this is, whether this is real, whether this is fake. You know, it can be tough. It can be tough. So I think that that's why. And I also think this, y'all. I was talking to a guy and he was talking to me about marriage. I think there's so much negative rhetoric around marriage. The enemy's done a really good job at destroying covenant. That's because we've done covenant outside of covenant. We have not honored, we do not understand covenant, nor do we live or love like covenant. I have been learning in this process about what covenant is and what it's supposed to look like. And I have fallen short. I mean, there's areas where I absolutely needed to grow up as a woman, like just as I'm moving into where God has brought me into a different chapter in my life. I have had to grow. Like, there's areas God was like, no, shape up. I can't keep blaming somebody else. I gotta deal with me. I can't keep saying this is because of how I was raised and this, that, and the third. No, I want to do something different. I can't keep saying, oh, he did this, so I did that. He did this, so no. It's like, no, Sam, you take accountability for you. You want to do this differently. You want something different. You got to be different. You can't find excuses for how you are and expect different results. No, you have to be different. And so I had to hold myself accountable. I had to say to myself, what are you doing? How are you representing you? How are you showing up in this world? And if I'm being real, I feel like I did okay, but obviously God can do better. God knew I could do better than what I was doing. Right? So again, I think it's hard to find godly Christian men because, number one, we're not seeing good examples of godly Christian men. We're not making godly Christian men the standard, just like we're not making godly Christian women the standard. So because of that, we don't have those examples to really hold our hat on. We're not, we're seeing, I think more people, whether we realize it or not, we're seeing more destruction of families than we are seeing good examples of family. And some of us have not been raised. We have not been raised by functional family units where we know what to do. How do we naturally become what we weren't raised by? So there's a lot that can, how many men are being raised by godly Christian men and know how to show up in the world as a godly Christian husband? Not many. You know what I'm saying? There's very, just like, there's not many godly Christian women, and they were raised by good godly Christian women. It's not that many. So I think that we're trying to be something we don't necessarily know how to be. And so I have a lot of empathy for men, because I don't think that there's a lot of great examples. And I believe God is raising a generation of men up. God is calling men out. There's men on my live. You feel the call. Like, God has been calling you out of the shadows and into light. Like, God is saying, no, you're chosen. I need you to step up. I need you. Whoever's watching me, I need you to step up. I need you to love a woman well. I need you to be a good family man. I need you to show your generation and the generations to come that how you were raised is not how they have to be. That you are not limited by the generations before you. You can do something different. You can be the generational curse breaker. You, whoever you are, God is calling you out of that. God is calling you to greater. God is not exposing you to dysfunction for you to stay dysfunctional. God has exposed you to that so that you can break it off of your generation and generation and generation. Some of y'all you might be men who are raising young women, raising young girls. You got daughters that are watching you. Be a good man to a woman. Like, they're watching you. You are their first example. Don't be out here playing games, because now you're normalizing men playing games. We've got to do better than what we've seen. Instead of allowing that to be our excuse, letting that be our motivation to become better. Family, that's what has driven me. I don't want to be what I've been. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to be better. I want to. And God has been dealing with me, because he's called me out. And yes, it's been uncomfortable. And yes, I've made sacrifices. Yes. But it's worth it. If the kingdom is glorified, it's worth it. If I'm breaking generational curses off my family, it's worth it. It's worth it to me. So if people don't understand it, don't like it, I don't care. I know I have a higher calling. You ain't got to like it. The man that God has called to me, he gonna love it. And he gonna walk heavy right with me. He might not be as vocal. He might not be the same way that I am about it, but he gonna be right there with me. I think we're so worried about people, and we need to be more worried about the things of heaven. Family, look at what's happening in the world today. We can't ignore it. You go and you're seeing world wars happen before our eyes. You're seeing rainwater that goes from 0 to 25 feet in 45 minutes. You're seeing earthquakes and natural disasters occur in areas over and over again. We cannot ignore what we're seeing. And we want to pass it off. You're seeing, literally, I saw this TikTok video of bears blocking the entrance to Yellowstone National Park. Bears and wildebeests, literally migrating, running away. And we're like, oh, nothing. No, it's the last days, family, and we have to take that into account. We cannot live our lives in deception. We cannot live our lives in deception. So if you're watching me and you have a calling in your life, do not waste time. Do not waste time. God is calling you out. Honor the call that God has put on your life. Do not ignore the promptings of the Spirit. Do not ignore God moving you or propelling you forward. It is time to walk and walk heavy, not be lukewarm, not be any of those things. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become family, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my family today.